In this video, we're going to fine-tune Ministral 8B using Google Colab. Now, I've already made videos about Ministral and what it is, but essentially it's two small models called Ministral 3 billion and Ministral 8 billion. And they're outperforming 3.27 billion and 3 billion. Sorry, 8 billion, my bad. But essentially, the reason why we want to fine-tune a Ministral is to enhance domain-specific accuracy and relevance, and we want to be able to adapt it to our unique data and requirements. Now, how should you typically fine-tune? You can fine-tune using instruction fine-tuning datasets. You have a question and then you get an answer. Very similar to the normal QA dataset. And of course, there are other ways to create a fine-tuned dataset. Now, let's get on with the fine-tuning. We are going to be using an A100 GPU, which is available using Google Colab Pro Plus account. But nevertheless, this will be broken down into essentially 3 main steps with some additional 2 steps in the beginning. First, we're going to install the packages that we need, download our model, prepare our dataset, start training, and do inferencing. So first of all, let's start installing the packages that we need for our fine-tuning. Now we'll be using the Mistral fine-tuning code to fine-tune our model. I just want to quickly mention that the code for fine-tuning was actually inspired from the Mistral fine-tuning repository over here. If you guys want to learn more about it, I will leave a link in the description down below or inside the Google Colab notebook, which will also be linked in the description. Now, some extra details about the environment. We are using A100 GPU, as I mentioned, with 100 gigabytes of disk space, and 80 gigabytes of normal RAM. Now we will download our model. Now we're going to be downloading the Ministral 8 billion parameter model from Hugging Face Hub. So for that, we will be needing Hugging Face Hub package to log in first. And the reason why we need to log in is because this is actually a model that requires you to have access to it. So you just have to write in your name and some email stuff and you're good to go. Once you pass in the token, we're going to import Hugging Face Hub, snapshot download, and pathlib to define where the path and where we're going to download and store our model. And over here, we're going to write models 8 billion v0.3. You can of course name it exactly however you want. Let's run it. And now we're going to download our model. Here we pass in the Hugging Face repository name that we get from here. You write allow patterns to be able to download the JSON, param JSONs, consolidated safe tensors, and tokenizer, and we store it into our local directory. So let's run that. We downloaded our model, we copied it from the root directory to our content directory. So now we can see our model over here, which is very convenient. And then we remove the root directory where we originally downloaded the snapshot of the model from Hugging Face. So once that is done, everything is efficient. Now what we can do is we can prepare our dataset. So we are going to be using the UltraChat 200 dataset, which is a conversational dataset, if you may. Now we're going to cd into our directory or content directory over here. We're going to make a new directory called data. We're going to navigate into that, and we're going to download the dataset from Hugging Face, which is super convenient. I actually didn't know you could actually download the dataset directly using the HTTP endpoint. So that's also very convenient. Now, I'm going to do something really silly where I'm going to get only 100 samples for our training data. So of course you should not use only 100 samples for fine-tuning your model. I'm just doing it to make this tutorial very quick, but please do not be like me. Actually make sure you're using the appropriate amount of data. Now, just to inspect how the dataset looks like, we have a prompt and we have messages, and each message has content that are conversational. Now, after that, we're going to save this dataset into a JSON lines format. So we're going to save it to a JSON lines like this. Now that is saved, we can also inspect it, how it looks like. And there you go. Here is the JSON lines with only 100 samples that we can use to train our model. Now, before that, you will have to format the data in a specific way. And thankfully, because we're using the Mistral package, they actually provide you with reformatting utility tools. And to use that, you simply have to go into the directory, and this can provide you with a reformat data script. So you can just run that real quick, and that's done. We can do the exact same thing for our evaluation dataset. So that is done again. Now we get to finally train our model. Now to do that, we have to define the CUDA devices. So we're using an A100 GPU, as I previously mentioned. And then now we get to define a YAML file. This YAML file is what is going to be used to train our model. To do that, we can write file, example.yaml. We can define the data source. So here we pass in the instruct data and the evaluation instruct data. We're going to pass in the model. So as you guys remember, we have the model in our content directory over here. And then we pass in some other training arguments like sequence length, batch size, max steps, and optimizations, weight decay, and other information. Now, of course, these settings can be tinkered with to see which one performs best for a use case. Now, it is highly recommended that if you have a much stronger GPU, you should be able to increase the sequence length to 32,000, as they mentioned over here. But for this case, I'm going to set to 5,000. We're going to pass some other configurations like eval frequency, log frequency, no eval, false, and checkpoint frequency. So on every 100 steps, we're going to save a checkpoint. And then other information about saving adapters. Now, all we really have to do is just execute it, and this will create a file called example.yaml. Now, I should have named it something along the lines of training.yaml, something meaningful, but in this case, example.yaml should suffice. Now, there we have this. Now we can actually start to train our model. So to train it, all you guys really have to do is write torch_run nproc per node 1. We pass in the command train example.yaml. This example YAML is the example file that we created over here. And you simply run it and wait. Okay, now our training is officially done. This took around 20 minutes, which is quite a lot of time for only just 100 samples of data for both evaluation and training. But nevertheless, let's actually do some inferencing on our newly fine-tuned model. Now, we're going to install Mistral inference, and then we're going to import our appropriate packages. We're going to import transformers, generate Mistral tokenizer, user message, and chat completion request. Standard stuff for Mistral inference. Now we're going to simply load our model to be able to handle the inferencing. Okay, so I had slight problems while I was making inferencing with this. So currently the 8 billion Ministral does not actually include the tokenizer information, which is quite silly in my opinion. But nevertheless, I had to go inside the documentation and figure out that you can actually use a other tokenizer, which actually worked pretty well on our fine-tuned model. So all you guys really have to do is load the model as you would usually for Mistral inferencing, and then you load the tokenizer using this command over here, Mistral tokenizer.v3 is taken, and then you pass in the model name. We can use OpenNemo, and this tokenizer actually works exceptionally well for our use case. So now, once you've done these steps, we can actually write our prompt that we want to ask. So we can ask over here, completion request, chat completion request, pass in the message, explain machine learning to me in a nutshell. After that, we're going to tokenize our question prompt using the tokenizer that we download over here. And then we are going to get the output tokens and the results. And then we can print it out to see or inspect the results. So let's run that. So in less than 6 seconds, or actually in 6 seconds, we got the final answer. All right, guys, I hope you found this video insightful. If you guys did, please feel free to subscribe. I make similar videos about fine-tuning and other machine learning techniques. All right, guys, I hope to see you in my next video. Have a nice day.